Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Common Sense Academy. I am your host, Joe Palmetto, Joe the lawyer. We are here to talk about sovereign citizens. For me to take questions, whatever questions you may have, to BS, shoot the shit, talk about whatever the heck it is we want to talk about. Laws, rules, nerds, sovereign citizens, people getting their head cracked in. Welcome to the Common Sense Academy. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto, Joe the lawyer. Cheers. We got the Cat Nat in the house. Hello, Cat Nat. Thank you for joining me. I got 12 people in the room right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's a Thursday night. I'm going live sort of randomly right now, going forward. It's just life is crazy. Life is good. I'm very busy. I do it when I have the time or when I find the time. What do you guys think of the different look here where I'm off-centered on the right, and then over here on the left, you got the sign. Somebody was telling me about a photographer, like a filmer, was telling me that it's actually better to be off-centered because if you're in the middle, when you're off-centered, it's actually more dynamic for the eye. Let me know if anybody's heard of that before. Adam Henderly, what did Devin Rayford say? He talks smack on me all the time. He talks smack on me all the time. I really don't care. What's he got to do? Start a new YouTube channel every time his current one gets shut off? I'm out here fighting the good fight. What I love about these people who talk the smack on me is that they all watch my channel. They all watch my channel. So not only do I get you guys, hello Beverly, hello CW, hey Carl. Not only do I get you guys, but I get all the haters too. Right? It's like people can't look away. So I'll take it. You know, I'm getting both sides. I'll take the attention. Please. Thank you very much. Bring it on. You know, it's to use this analogy, it's like Donald Trump. Even people that hate him can't look away. Nobody can look away from Donald Trump. I don't want to compare myself to Trump. Cheers. Pomelo, what is that? Come on. West Memphis, Arkansas. How you doing, CW? Jealous of my beard. You guys like the beard? The beard made me a little depressed this year because for the last 2 or 3 years, I would basically get like 1 or 2 little gray hairs. I don't know if you all know how old I am. Maybe you can try to guess my age. Anyway, I would get 1 or 2 little gray hairs. And this year I grew it out and there's like 50 of them suckers. I'm not saying I counted, but I looked in the mirror. I'm like, yeah. Oh man, like there's too many. When there was like 1 or 2, I'd be like, boom, pluck it out. Like no gray hairs. Now I got a lot more. But I'm lucky with this beard. I kind of trim it a little bit so I can go into court and not look like I rolled straight out of the West Virginia mountains. 46. I got a 46 from America, okay, and a 29. Listen, when my beard is shaved, people think I'm 25. 37. Ryan is sizzling. Adam, you nailed it. I'm 38 years old. 38. But anyway, these sovereign citizens who hate me and they go on, hey, William, thank you for stopping in. Hey, Mark S., thank you. Thank you for the nice words. These sovereigns who hate me, okay, they're still giving me their time. And let me tell you something. I'm not giving them my time. Like I can barely watch. Here's the thing. I can't watch Devin's videos. They're so boring. And so I can't sit there for an hour and look, if you're into that, that's fine. You want to check out, see what he's saying, But some of it, it's like, man, I cannot do it for that long. I can't do it for that long. I think he said that he was going to, in the last video, he said he was going to report me to like the bar association or the disciplinary board. If you think what I'm doing I mean, do you guys know what lawyers out there do? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what, I'm on here debunking fake law. You think you think the bar association is going to be upset with me? I should get a reward. Okay, I'm out here debunking fake law. I should get a medal for this. You know, what is he going to do? He's going to report me? I'll tell you what would happen. Okay, if he reports me, I'll tell you what they'll be like. Look at the piece of paper. Just like that. So I'm not too concerned with it. But I do like to hear what he says. You know, I do appreciate it when you guys let me know what's going on with him. I truly do. You know, in case he says something completely wacky, which has probably happened before. So I can't remember who it was. One of my good longtime viewers, his icon, his avatar on YouTube, it looks kind of like he's like an Arab merchant or something. Anyway, he suggested to me, because I brought it up in the last video, that I should do a video where I talk about all the crazy stuff that sovereign citizens have sent me. Okay, now a lot of the stuff that they've sent me, you guys may have already seen, because a lot of it is in the comments. Now, YouTube has a setting and where they will automatically screen certain comments. And so they automatically screen some of them, but a lot of the crazy ones just get through. And so, but I can see the ones that were screened. So you guys wouldn't even see all the crazy comments that I get from sovereign citizens who want to argue with me. Also, I get emails. I get emails from sovereign citizens all the time. All right. And some of them are just talking straight up, talking smack to me, like, you're the stuff that Dan Bay does. But some of them just want to argue with me. And they'll send, you know, a 5 or 10 paragraph, 5-page long email about why I'm wrong. And I'll just send them a 1-word email back. I'll be like, okay, nuts. Or I'll be like, you're wrong. And it is just too much fun. So I am going to do an episode where I come on and I just talk about all the crazy stuff that sovereign citizens have said to me. It's going to be fun. Look for it coming up soon. What are some of the fun videos? So we had, you know, the recent video I did with the British police. Okay. Number one, I like their hats with like the checkered emblems. I'm a big fan of those. And these cops, they did look really young. I mean, the one cop who was there, the one police officer, I mean, he looked like he could have been 15. Now he's probably like 6 feet tall, but I was like, man, he looks so young in the face, and he's trying to deal with this sovereign citizen. And at the end of the day, though, he's standing there writing, taking notes, and at the same time, they're busting in the back window. You know, they're busting in the back window, which is probably a good tactic, because you break the glass. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to fall onto somebody and cut them, and then you get a lawsuit. Okay. You can bust in the back window, start opening the doors, and get access. I mean, but what some of these police officers got to deal with is just out of this world. What's the definition of a sovereign citizen? I am going to give you a concise, let me think of the most concise definition that I can do of a sovereign citizen. It's an individual who, based on conspiracy theories and lies, believes that the law of the land does not apply to them. How's that? An individual who believes that the law as it is commonly accepted does not apply to them, and that they have special individual rights that place them outside of the jurisdiction of the law. That is a sovereign citizen in a nutshell. What you guys want to do? No, it's the same time, Sip that, William. You didn't miss it yet. It's coming up at 15 minutes. Really, the sovereign citizen, that's the broad definition, right? And then you can break it down into categories. You got your Moorish sovereign citizens, and their theory is a little bit different. It's based on the theory that Morocco and Moroccans at one point in time had an empire that covered most of North Africa and also areas of the Middle East and Israel, et cetera, and that these people had migrated over to North America hundreds, thousands of years ago, and therefore, okay, the laws that were set up by Europeans who came over later don't apply to them. They don't apply to them. They see themselves as Moorish nationals, and the law of the United States does not apply to them, and or they have a form of diplomatic immunity, and so they retain their own individual sovereignty. That's a quick run up for the Moors, right? Then you have sort of your standard sovereign citizen, which is based on a couple of several different conspiracy theories. One is that the Articles of Confederation are the true founding documents of the country. The next is that the Constitution was usurped later on, either when the United States went off the gold standards, when bankers took over, okay, or some sort of cabal of elites, bankers, and businessmen took over the United States, all right? And you must declare your sovereignty in order to have the real Constitution and the common law applied to you. So cops break the law often are sovereign citizens. No, that's not true. That's not true. It is true. It is true that sometimes police officers break the law, and they are the individuals who are meant to enforce the law. The same is true of politicians and or attorneys who are prosecutors, right? It's their job to enforce and execute the laws, and sometimes they also break the laws. And the same is true of a judge, right? A judge who's a very powerful person. Sometimes they break the law. The key principle of the law is that the law applies to everybody. Of course, due to corruption, this principle is not always followed. However, we must strive in order to create a great nation and to be the country that we were meant to be, to have the law apply to everyone. And yes, do sometimes people in power get away from it? Sure, they do. The Magna Carta, thank you, Beverly. That is the founding document of perhaps democracy, one of the founding documents of democracy and constitutional democracy, period. And the British sovereign citizens, also known as freemen on the land, believe that the Magna Carta is still in effect, and that this document actually disperses the power of the government and removes the actual power of the true British government that currently rules in the United Kingdom. These freemen on the land believe that their individual God-given rights, and I do believe in individual God-given rights, are granted by the Magna Carta and the Magna Carta only. Okay, what a sovereign citizen truly is an anarchist. That is what a sovereign citizen truly is. They are an anarchist, and they're extremely selfish individuals because they want the law to be selectively applied. They don't want it to be applied to them. They don't want it to be applied to them in circumstances where they don't believe that it should be applied to them. Okay, and when you believe that no police officer, no government authority has the power to enforce the law, what you truly believe in is anarchy. And let me tell you, there are examples of anarchy around the world, right? You could go to Somalia, you could go to failed states, you could go to Syria, and in those parts of the world, you don't have the hand of government. You don't have the hand of government in things. Instead, what you have is different tribes, and the strongest tribe, the strongest warlord is the one who rules. Okay. And frankly, that's not a good way for anybody to live. You're not going to maximize human happiness in those situations. It's just not going to happen. If you want a philosophical basis for this, Really, and this is one of the reasons I was interested in the sovereign citizen movement to start. I'm a political science major, so in college I studied political science. I did 3 years of law school. I have an East Asian Studies certificate. I studied Japanese for 2 years. I've lived in other countries. Okay, anyway, Thomas Hobbes, Leviathan. That is the book for political theory. That is the book, in my opinion. Okay, everybody. Some of you came here to watch and listen to me. Some of you just come here to laugh at me a little bit, and I do hope that's the case. But most of you come here for the same time sip. Now, you may have a beer, you may have a vodka, you may have a glass of water because, you're a health nut. Whatever it is that you have, raise your cup, your glass with me. You all know I basically live off of 3 beverages in this world, okay? I drink coffee, Diet Coke, and water. I don't know if that's healthy. What I do know is it could be worse. And tonight I'm having a glass of Diet Coke. So raise your cup, your glass in the air. Cheers with me. It tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. It's not delicious, but I'm addicted. Therefore, it is delicious. Therefore, it is delicious. As Fourth Amendment girl famously said, we have all the rights, but none of the rules. One of the best legal movies that I saw, and this will give you what I think of that statement a little bit, is The Verdict with Paul Newman. Number one, pretty much any movie with Paul Newman is good. But number two, The Verdict it's a great dynamic, okay? Because you have Paul Newman, and let me know if you guys have seen The Verdict. It's a great movie. Watashi no namae wa Joe desu. Genki desu ka? I studied Japanese for 2 years. I know a little bit, but I haven't really read it for like 10 years. Like I haven't really gotten into it. Yeah. Boku wa American jin. So I did study Japanese for a while. So, but Paul Newman, Verdict, love this movie. Okay. Paul Newman, I'm going to set it up for you. Paul Newman is an attorney. He's got his own practice. He's midlife, maybe 40s, 50s in the movie. And he's down on his luck. His practice has been floundering. All he does is drink, okay? And he doesn't get any cases. In the beginning of the movie, he goes, we all hear ambulance chaser. At the beginning of the movie, Paul Newman goes to a funeral and he's passing out his business card at a funeral in order to get business. Now, that's actually illegal now for attorneys. That's called personal solicitation. Big no for attorneys. Anyway, I don't think it was always illegal. So attorneys could go around and just hand out their business card. And now if we do it, we'll be disciplined by the ethics board. But at the beginning of the movie, Paul Newman, he's all drunk. He's down and out. He's handing out. And somebody comes up to him and is like, get out of here. What do you do? And like scolds him. So one day he's in his office sleeping and one of his buddies comes in and says, hey, I got a case and I think you're the guy for it. Or maybe nobody else would take it. I think that's what's happening. He's like, I got a case. Nobody else would take it. And it is a woman. It's about a woman. Or it was somebody who died for medical malpractice, and the person who died, and I think it was like a pregnant mom or something, it was a young woman, okay, died at a hospital, at a Catholic hospital, so a hospital run by the Catholic Church, and the doctor there commits medical malpractice, makes a mistake, and a young girl dies. So nobody wants to take the case because they have to sue the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church is notoriously, they will defend lawsuits aggressively. All right. And they have a lot of money. So what the hell? So, Paul Newman's buddy comes in and says, hey, you got to take this case. This young woman died. I think during childbirth or something, during some operation, some medical malpractice case. Nobody else will take it. So Paul Newman takes the case, and it sort of like breathes a new life into him. Okay. And the rest of the movie is him battling high-priced attorneys in the Catholic Church through high-stakes litigation in the courts. Great movie. Anyway, he has a quote in the movie. He says, the justice system exists not, the justice system does not guarantee justice. It does not guarantee justice. But what the justice system does is it guarantees everyone a chance at justice. And I believe that is true of the justice system in America. And, listen, you got millions of lawsuits and cases and criminal cases that come through the system. And yeah, not everybody is going to get justice through the system, but everybody gets a chance at justice. And that's what the system exists to do. It exists to guarantee everyone. Yeah, she went into a coma. You're right, William Brown. It exists to guarantee everyone a chance at justice. It does not actually guarantee that justice is due for every single person, right? I mean, the only being that could deliver justice to everyone in every situation is God. Okay. And human beings are imperfect. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So yeah, there are people who are rightfully wronged by the justice system, but it does give the majority of people, I would say everybody, a fair shot. I mean, it gives you a shot. We'll say that. It gives you a shot. She didn't die. She was in a coma after aspirating for Eric. I don't remember all the details. Thank you, guys. But I did. I studied Japanese. Ichi, ni, san, go. Ichi, ni, san, yan, go, roku, nana, hachi, kyuju. I can still remember 1 through 10. I studied Japanese for about 2 years. But I also studied Spanish for 2 years, several years before that. And I can count to 10 in Spanish. So I am going to put together a video of the best things that sovereign citizens have said to me, okay, that you guys haven't seen. And maybe I'll put them up on the screen and I'll read them, and we will have some fun with them. I know I claimed a fight tonight, but, I'm just talking smack. Mark, you're fluent in Dutch. That's awesome. That's amazing. Very amazing. Yeah, I watched this guy on YouTube, like you guys. We're all YouTube heads here. Gosh, what is his name? But he does all these. He just does videos on different languages, and he said that Dutch is the most similar language. Is the language is most similar to English, and so I would say English and Dutch and German. The crazy, I hear some German words, some German and English words are exactly the same. There are even some German sentences, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, that are exactly the same as English. The sentences are exactly the same. Look, I even have my Tokyo shirt on today. And somebody asked me if I speak Japanese. I mean, I know a little bit. German and Russian, very cool, very cool. Very cool. Russian is a cool language. So, bad words in French. Yeah, I know some bad words in Spanish. I would like to, maybe someday when I retire and I can spend a couple hours a day just reading languages, I'll get back into my Japanese. I would like to learn Spanish, or, the thing is, what I feel like I've seen is, like, if you dip into some of the Romance languages, you can learn, if you want to learn multiple languages, if you know one, it makes it easier to learn the other, and so on and so forth. And I feel like that's not necessarily true with a lot of other languages, because like Italian and Spanish and Portuguese all tend to be a little bit similar. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I speak Kentucky. I speak Pittsburghese. I speak Pittsburghese. Who knows some good? So I'll give you guys some good Pittsburghese words. Okay. Pittsburghese. I was having this conversation with somebody actually today, In Pittsburghese is mainly spoken in, if you grew up in the city of Pittsburgh and then some of the towns around Pittsburgh. And one of the things we say is downtown. If you guys ever if you want to hear the real Pittsburgh accent, look up the Pittsburgh Dad on YouTube. He's hilarious. Downtown, okay, is what people say in Pittsburgh. And that, yeah, I'm gonna cross over them bridges and head downtown to drink some iron shitty beer. I don't know if that's a good Pittsburgh accent. Some people say when I start talking if I start talking to someone with the Pittsburgh accent, I bring it on, but I don't know if I can bring it on myself. Fargo, Johnny B. I love the Fargo accent. I love like that. I don't know, northern Midwest accent, and I love it. I think it's great. So we say downtown. And then you know how they say y'all in the South, or yous guys, and maybe on the East Coast we say yins, right? That's the big Pittsburgh word. Yins guys. What are yins guys doing tonight? You heading downtown in that? We're gonna rent up the house and then head downtown. That's kind of the Pittsburgh accent. But yeah, I'd say downtown. Yins, those are two of the key words. And then of course pop. Like this is what I was telling my friend. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and we don't say soda. Okay, so when I was growing up, to me, like a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or a Sprite, those are pop. Okay, that's it. Just pop, not soda pop, just pop. So to me, soda is soda water, and that's it. Like when I grew up, if somebody said, "Hey, you got soda?" That's what you had. Like it was soda water. You were talking about soda water or baking soda. But if you were talking about a Diet Coke or a Pepsi, you were talking about pop. And when I went into the Air Force, and everybody started calling it soda, and I'm like. And like I knew, but I didn't know. And I think being in the Air Force for 4 years almost worked out. I don't call it pop as much now. Like I do, but I don't. Like I became self-conscious of it because everybody was making fun of me. You're fortunate not to have an accent, Johnny. I like the Fargo accent. I mean. I remember I watched that movie when it came out, the Fargo movie, and heard the accent, and I was like, wow, I just enjoyed listening to the people in the movie talk. They call pop tonic, don't know why. Yeah, you get tonic water, soda pop, it's all. But my favorite is my friend from Georgia. Anybody on here from Georgia? I got a couple people in the South. Okay. Y'all in Kansas too. Y'all in Kansas now. Ins guys in Pittsburgh now. But Vilified Freedom, what's up? What's up? But my buddy from Macon, Georgia, would say he could not. Well, I'm sure you guys know this. They call pop or soda Coke. Hey, you got a Coke? You got Coke this, Coke that. But my friend could not say the word butterfly. It could not come out of his mouth. He literally, and I would sit there and I'd be like, I'd be like, his name was Mike. I'd be like, Mike, just say butterfly. Kill me if you watch this. I'd be like, Mike, just say butterfly. And he could not do it, okay? He called butterfly was a birdifly. And the first time I heard him say that, I was like, are you speaking English? I was like, are you speaking English? What is this? What's a birdifly? Oh, man, it used to crack me up. Excuse me. Y'all fall out now. Yep, Skibo, Fort Benning, amen. But yeah, Macon, Georgia, that's the scene of To Kill a Mockingbird. And that's probably the #1 book the #1 book for lawyers. That's why people want to be lawyers. They read To Kill a Mockingbird, or they see the movie and I want to be Atticus Finch. I want to be Atticus Finch. Hey Ryan, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. We got a nice crowd tonight. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's what I got. Did he spread Berta on toast? I don't know. You know, that's a good question, Alice. That's a good question. But you know, the thing with the British is they try to be so polite. They try to be so polite. But I was glad that we got to see a good. We get to see a good, and thanks to Van for putting that video up. I was glad we got to see a good window smashing from the British police, because they don't do it that often. They don't do it that, you know, they try to de-escalate. Maybe that's a good thing. Hey, Sierra, what's up? So maybe that's a good thing. Anything you guys want to chat about? Anything, guys? Vilified, anything you want to talk about? We can chat about anything. I can go on and on about my sovereign citizen friends. Like I said, I'm gonna do a nice video where I'm gonna cover all the statements that they have made about me, which is entertaining in and of itself. That book was banned in the Duluth schools, even though no student complained about it. Yeah, and so that's what I'm gonna cover in some of the videos coming up. I hope you guys like my new setup here. You know, got me set off to the right a little bit. Mark, have a nice night. Anybody got any legal questions or something you want to bounce off me? I'd be happy to take a question or talk about a topic of your choice. Tee me up. Tee me up. Cheers. Joe, cops playing music to thwart frauditors. Thoughts? I love it. I think it's a good move. Bad boys, what you want? What you gonna do? Boom, 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 boom. The Cops is coming back, by the way. The show is coming back. They took it off, but it's coming back. Yeah, I think Cops. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to playing Beatles songs to screw with the frauditors. If anybody's got a video of that, go ahead and drop it. I'd like to see that. I think that's a good idea because, you know, my view on auditors has always been that I'm not just totally against auditors. I think that having video cameras in public places and videotaping the police and having body cams is generally a good thing. However, the problem with auditors is when they actually interfere with police work, and many of them, that is their specific goal. They're there to number one, oftentimes they want to create an encounter because that will increase their views on YouTube and the quality of the video, in their sense, the outrage of the video. So they're specifically there to interfere, or they can't help themselves but interfere, or they interfere accidentally. That's when it's bad. If somebody stands, 10 to 20 feet away and is videotaping a police scene, that's generally not going to be a bad thing. Okay, I think all police officers should have body cams. I do believe that there are times when they should be able to switch the body cam off, okay, or at least switch the volume off. Anything before it's released, body cam's released to the general public, the video can be viewed for anything that's like too crazy or too shocking or violates privacy. But I think the police having body cams and dash cams is a good thing. So videotaping police in certain situations is not a bad thing. It is, in fact, a good thing. Joe Pomello. Hey, Beverly, I've heard a lot worse. But so if the police want to play music to keep the frauditors away, I don't have a problem with it. If they don't like the music, then they can video without the audio. There's nothing wrong with that. Just video without the audio. William, please buy my book, sir. Buy my book. I'm I'm going to update the book here shortly. I'm going to change some of the art on the book. So if you want the original version, go ahead and buy it now. You're going to get an updated version coming out soon. It's going to have new artwork. I'm also going to beef up some of the chapters. I think I talked about this before. I'm just so dang busy with my law practice, but I want to add to the chapter on the right to travel. Okay, there's more case law that I want to dive in for everybody. That's what people want to hear and see. I got to brush up the chapter on the Moors, on the Moorish nationals. So I'll be jumping in to do some work on that front. And well, actually, those are the only two I really wanted to expand on more. I'm very proud of the history that I did on the sovereign citizen movement in there. You know, I really like the tips that I put at the end for attorneys, judges, and law enforcement officers. I do think the book is practical in that sense for anybody who's going to have to deal with sovereign citizens to buy this book and read about it. And so I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to change the style of it a little bit. So if you guys want the original version, go ahead and purchase a copy now. In about 30, 60 days, there's going to be a new version. So maybe you want to wait for the new version and get a new cover. It's got a new cover, new artwork, and some new content. And my goal is to update the book periodically over the months and years, et cetera, et cetera. I actually do believe it's a valuable tool for law enforcement because if you watch this channel, if law enforcement watches this channel and they read the book, they're just going to have a better understanding. You know, there's nothing I don't like. Something I guess it makes for good videos, but it's cringeworthy is when the officers don't quite know what they're dealing with, or when you have a judge who's not quite aware of what a sovereign citizen is and what's going on. And it's always funny to see the light go off in their head when they realize this person is kind of a wacko. Like the recent video that we did. The recent video where the officer, or I'm sorry, the judge, you know, this guy started going off. I had a driving on a suspended license, started going off on all the sovereign citizen stuff. And this judge was like, wait a minute. He said, you're in an alternate universe. And at the end of the video, he muted him. I kind of love that. He's like, I'm done with you. He's like, I'm just going to put you on mute. So, so good. So good. Stand under, you know, William, I'll get back to you because I knew that and I forgot. And somebody in here can tell you what it means. I can't remember where they got that term from, the stand under. So thanks, Skagsy. Thank you very much for purchasing the book. Want to confuse the soft sit when the police start with their own stat? I mean... Prince Jedi Master, yes. That will be the best sovereign citizen video ever. When we get a cop who just blows it right back at him, like starts citing the case law and citing and actually, sir, under the common law, you cannot actually, sir, under the common law. And if you cite Brown v. Cassidy from 1854, the right to travel is only established on private roads that were constructed before 1879. You know, something along those lines. Understand. That's it. Mike got it. Understand, to stand under. It's a play on words to get authority. You're exactly right. You are exactly right, Mike. You nailed it. So I understand nothing and overstand everything. There's so much truth in that. There's so much truth in that. I lure up out of Panda. Panda, there's so much truth in that you don't even know. You don't even know. Oh, Skagsy, I know. Trust me, I know. You're right. Sovs want the uncommon law. They are in Canada, absolutely. To me, it feels like Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom, whether it be Ireland or England or Scotland, they all, like, these are the homelands of the sovereigns, right? Although we also see them in Australia. We saw them in Germany. We saw them in Scandinavia. I even did the one video. This really hit my heart because I'm mostly Italian, of the of the sovereign citizen in Italy, the guy who was riding the bike during the lockdown, and he started going off about sovereign citizen stuff and not consenting. I mean, come on, man, come on. They're spreading. They're spreading. It's everywhere. Cheers. Too many of them here in Canada. Canada, yeah, it makes sense. Canada is just, it's such a big, Canada is such a big country. And I feel like people are very spread out, except for around the cities. So I could see that developing, because I think this tends to develop a little more in the rural areas, though not always. Where when you live in a rural area, you don't interact with government on a regular basis. You don't see the government day to day. So then when the government wants to intrude on your life, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Whereas if you live in a more rural or more urban area, you're interacting with government much, much more on a regular basis. But yeah, it's a strong ideology. It's everywhere. And I think YouTube and social media has amplified this. Just like other types of conspiracy theories that are out there that have been amplified, whether on the left of the political divide or on the right, social media, the internet has amplified the dissemination, the wide dissemination of news these days, has allowed things like sovereign citizen movement, which was very niche in the 1980s and into the 1990s, to grow. And, a lot of these people that go on, they see these YouTube videos, right? You can find some of these sovereign videos have millions of views. So they're convincing people, they're brainwashing people. I hope these people, hey, Taze, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope these people come across channels like mine, like Vilified Freedom, like Degeneration Nation, like Schrodinger's cat. Okay, come along and decide to watch our content and say, listen, this sovereign citizen stuff is BS, okay? Because it is. And again, I told you guys at the beginning here, I'm a political science major, and I have a soft place in my heart for people who sympathize with smaller government and are critical, very critical eye towards the government itself. But you can truly take it too far. You can truly take it too far. And that's what sovereign citizens have done. And that's what they do for a variety of reasons, right? For some people, it's the utility of it. They can't drive without it. Their driver's license has been suspended out the wazoo. So they decide that, oh, I can drive. You know why I can drive? Because this guy on YouTube told me I can drive. And it can sound strangely convincing. I mean, some of the videos out there are really, really professionally done. And they talk, the straw man thing, the whole straw man thing. Did you know when you were born that a fictional you was created? Yes, that fictional you is represented in your social security number and your birth certificate. But that's not the real you. There's some sort of psychology to it that works. Have you seen the former Sov Sit who is now a lawyer? What? No, Taze. Come on. I got to get him on the show. Drop me a link, please. The intellectual movement has taken over. Half of the country doesn't trust. Mike, you nailed it, man. You absolutely nailed it. Anti-intellectualism movement. Very, very true. And look, again, I'm critical of government and I'm very critical of the mainstream media. Oh, Juan Galt. Yeah. I know Juan Galt. I was going to have him on the show. We tried to get something together, but we failed to actually, come together. And then I was sort of not making videos for a while or making them sparsely. I was so busy. But I have his email. I got to hit him up. Juan's a good guy. And so I've heard of him. He's reached out to me, but I have a healthy dose of skepticism towards the government. Trust me, I do. But he's right. Mike Hess is right about the anti-intellectualism and just general distrust in institutions, probably because the institutions really haven't delivered for a large portion of the population. And we got to find a way out of this. We really, really do. Do I often distrust institutions as well? Yes. Well, we need to do something to build back trust in the institution. I can't believe I just used that term, but it just popped to me, right? We all get programmed by the media, build back. Anyway, yeah, we need to I don't know, we need to find a way to reinstitute our institution, reinvigorate our institutions, because it's hard to see it, but they can do a lot of good. It's hard to see it, but they can do a lot of good. Never trust social media. Amen. Amen. I mean, if there's something that you really see on the news, it's hard to trust any media. And that's one of the problems, is the distrust in the media that has occurred. And that's really, in my opinion, that's a result of technology. That's largely a result of technology, because as you know, I'm 38 years old, but when I was growing up, there were only a couple of news channels, and they pretty much all showed the same news. And there was we had the two local newspapers in Pittsburgh. So anybody in Pittsburgh, in my city, was getting there. You watch the local news, national news channels, and the newspaper. That's it. Those are your news sources. Now we have 50 different cable news channels. You got the local news, you got the major networks. You still have some newspapers, but everything on social media, everything on the internet. Okay, it's all maximized. It's actually capitalism mixed with technology that has brought us here, because it just it's now it's all about clicks. So the more outrageous the headline, the more clicks. So even the news channels that used to try to be objective are no longer even trying to be objective, because they're a business and they got to stay in business. And the only way they can do that is to give you the most outrageous headline that there is. You are roboting. I don't know. What does that mean? Sounds okay now. So it's hard to know what it is, because everything is geared towards outrage. It's geared towards outrage, because that's what gets people to click, and that's how the news agencies make money. Now, I'm not advocating for the opposite end of that, which is a state-run media, because that's even more corrupt. But I think individuals need to take it upon themselves and go to multiple media sources and make it a point, whether you lean right or you lean left, to oftentimes also read the news from a source that is not of your political persuasion, right? So if all you do is watch CNN, you should force yourself, if you're going to watch CNN 2 or 3 times a week, you should do one time a week CNN, one time a week of a different news station, whatever. If you read it, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I'm cutting up, everyone. So I'm just going to continue with the live feed. My internet is showing fine and everything's fine on my screen, so I apologize. But I think what you need to do is go to multiple sources. And really, I think reading the news is better, because we need the news. We need the news, right? So I think reading it takes away a lot of the persuasion or spin that is baked in when you watch it on TV. And I'm not saying don't watch it, but you should read it too, and you should read different types of articles. There was this website, Knife Media. I don't know if you guys saw it, where they tried to be like completely objective. I think it went out of business. It was a website, Knife Media, where they tried to break down the news and report it objectively. They didn't make enough money. So it's like you can't even really have like a non-objective news source. Is almost impossible to run as a business, because people don't want it. They're not interested in it. I don't know. I don't know. It's a crazy world. We're in a crazy world these days. There's an interesting mini doc on YouTube about the rise of alternative right-wing media outlets drove news to become more opinionated and less fact reporting. Spoiler, it started with Fox News. Mike, yeah, look, Fox News came around, like Fox News came out in the 90s. But even I really think the internet has changed the game. That's my opinion because I remember during my early 20s, and you had the major news channels and you had Fox News, and things were not nearly as crazy as they are now. But as the internet and social media has exploded, this is just my opinion, but with the internet and social media has exploded, I mean, even Fox News is like dwarfed. And like YouTube is like just like YouTube gets more views. A lot of influencers on YouTube are getting more views. They beat CNN, so I think the way forward, I don't really know what it is. What I do know is that all news agencies are incentivized to a certain degree to put out outrage news, and clickbait. And I don't know how we pull the country back from that brink. I think what we need is more objective, people or news stations who come on, but that's not what we're seeing, right? We're seeing them actually just dividing more instead of coming to the middle, or one's popping up in the middle. We're seeing, other, right-leaning news channels popping up now. So, and it's just, I don't know the way forward. You're spelling Fox News and Newsmax and OAN. Yeah, exactly. Like Fox, Newsmax. So, you have Fox, and you have the major, MSNBC maybe, and CNN, and you would hope that we could get some stations in the middle. Instead, we're getting OAN, we're getting Newsmax, right? And so it's widening the gulf instead of bringing it together. Maybe what needs to happen is these agencies go so far away that somebody can then rise up. I mean, maybe we have to reach that boiling point. Here's the other interesting thing, though, and that's television news, right? Like television news is a dying art in and of itself. It's obviously, the baby boomer generation is huge. It's a massive generation, but people younger than me, how much television news do they actually watch? Do they watch Fox News? Do they watch MSNBC? Do they even watch CNN? CNN and Fox, they get a lot of their viewing from being on in a waiting room at a business or something. So I think future generations are becoming less and less interested in television in general. And so then what do you have? Then you have the internet, the websites, YouTube, are going to be the controlling factors in news. So it's a brave new world in a whole lot of ways. I don't know what we're going to see going forward, but it's going to be interesting. See, you abandoned television a long time ago. A lot of people do. You did Midnight Shepherd. You did miss the same time sip. The same time sip on my live channels is always 15 minutes in. I want to give everybody a chance to come into the chat and do a sip with me. But we will do one more because I have one sip left in my glass. Well, it's more like backwash, but I'll do a backwash, same time sip with you. So raise your cup, your glass in the air, whatever you got left, drink it with me. I got a little bit, we would call it, right, as the beer, it's backwash. Cheers, same time. Delicious. Some night I think you guys would just like to see me get drunk. So maybe we'll have to arrange for that. Where I'll just drink some whiskey or some beer, and we'll get a nice buzz going. And yeah, I don't. I do like television news. I like the local news. If honestly, I don't watch, like, if I'm clicking on CNN or Fox, it's on YouTube. And I will watch the local news because I want to know, hey, Raphael, thank you very much, sir. I truly, truly appreciate it. Every penny helps, and it keeps me coming back. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers. I'll be having my coffee tomorrow morning. But if the only way I watch CNN or Fox is I watch YouTube clips of things. And so and YouTube, that's actually a change that YouTube made, right? You guys that follow YouTube closely, is they started to push more clips from mainstream news networks because they were giving these influencers tremendous influence. But YouTube is maybe the future of news if it's not already there in a big way. Let's all drink together and play sovereign citizen. How do we play that? All right. I'm gonna come up. So I'm gonna do a video. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. When I go through, I'm gonna do a live stream where I go through things sovereign citizens have said to me. Okay, that's going to be a live stream. And we're also going to come up with a sovereign citizen board game that we can play. Okay, we're going to do both of those things. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I'm starting to get tired. You should join in with Schrodinger's Cat Saturday Eve at 8 p.m. CW, I'm going to mark it down. Okay, and I'm going to try to be there at 8. For now, I am going to cut out. I'm tired, and I got to be at court tomorrow morning. So thank you for tuning in for the Common Sense Academy. I love you guys. FIL, thank you for the super chat. Join me next week later on. Who knows? I will always announce when I'm going live for more of the Common Sense Academy. Love you all. Peace out. Don't go sovereign on me. Okay? Don't go sovereign on me. Peace.